Last episode was a rather eventful transfer special as we played through December all the way to February, but we're back because I didn't get all the business done that I needed to get done. But one little bit of business that has happened since last episode is this. The Tokyo 23 takeover has been completed. We kind of knew this was going to happen. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a particularly exciting takeover. Kanta Aoki has been promoted from within, and in terms of what it means financially, there's no investment whatsoever. It's just the exact same finances and, well, the same budgets. I wish I had more to report on in that regard. Now, I did play just over a week between last episode ending and this episode starting. In that time, we did confirm the signing of Tsushima. You might remember he was the left back and right back option that we had on loan last year. We had the ability to sign him this year, decided to do that, but given the fact he was available for a measly £5,500, feel like he proved himself at this level. There is one other addition I've made since last episode. The other addition I've made is a new assistant manager. Here we have Hideyomi Yamamoto, 44 years old. According to his playing history here, he was only a manager last year and he was playing football at the age of 43. I have no idea if that's accurate or not, but to be fair, if there's a country where players play forever, it is just Japan, isn't it? I mean, look at this. He literally actually started as a player in this career mode, I realised, playing for Ventforet in the J2 division. He is now our assistant manager. He's also quite a good assistant manager, especially for £210 a week. Anyway, despite his addition to the team, that is far from everything done. We need to do a lot more, and we are going to try and get down to business. Of course, we have already secured a fair few signings this year, but we did also release a hell of a lot of players. We lost a lot of depth in the team, we lost a lot of the B team, and whilst we have started to add more and more players, there are glaringly obvious holes in the team. A centre-back, a goalkeeper, definitely the orders of the day today. Now, we have got our goalkeeping scout recruitment going on at the moment, and whilst there's been no players recommended, there's actually a player in progress of being scouted, Akira Matsuzawa. I hope I've said that name correctly. 21 years old, he plays for St. Catherine University, a goalkeeper who at 21, our scouts rate quite highly. I was excited when I saw the star ratings. Now I've seen his attributes, I'm a little more lukewarm, but actually, now that I'm comparing him to Ataki, he looks like he could be a very, very good upgrade. Much better jumping reach, not as good a aerial reach, but has some really good handling, some better one-on-ones as well. He is also available on a free transfer. He's announced he's leaving his current club at the end of the current season. I wonder if that means I could potentially sign him for a cut price. My scouts like the look of this guy a lot. A little bit concerned he's inconsistent and has low determination. But if he's available with reasonable wages, I'd be tempted to bring him in, even if he ends up being a backup longer term. Okay, our offer's been accepted. He wants to be an important player, but he only wants £110 to £160 per week. Will he accept cup goalkeeper? No, he wants to be an important player. And to be honest, I kind of like the look of Akira here. I think my plan is to try and sign him, get an offer on the table that he accepts, and then just delay his transfer for a few weeks just to make sure there aren't other options out there. Of course, last episode we offered loads and loads of trials to different goalkeepers. We had a load on our radar, but having looked at all those goalkeepers and scouted plenty too, he is looking like notably the best. In fact, you can see here Yamamoto, the second best goalkeeper we've got scouted, and if I just compare him with Akira, significantly better. I've mentioned it before, but within Japan, the university and high school systems are one of the main ways players are produced, both in real life and in this database in Football Manager. It's with that in mind that when we are scouting around players, and I see players at university teams like Otsuka here, I need to have my wits about me. This guy looks quite good. I don't need another striker, but he's 20 years old. He's playing for Aichi Gakusen University. I hope I've said that correctly. 0 goals in 7 games for them last year. And yeah, I kind of like the look of him. I know I'm not really meant to. If we just compare him with Otter, he's maybe a step down from Otter, but he's got some aerial ability. I suppose a good player to compare him with would be Akai, who we signed last episode, and also Genya Handa, who I think he's perhaps more comparable to. And when you look at the comparison here of him and Genya Handa, the 20-year-old does look very, very good. If his wage demands are south of £250, I think I would end up signing him anyway. He will cost us a little over £1,000 from the looks of things here. I feel like I need to go out here and make sure there's no more university players that I'm just missing out on that could be very, very good for us. There is, in fact, another university striker on my scout's radar. I just lowered the interest level to doubtful, and Muramatsu here has popped up. He has already got some interest in him from J3 teams, which means he's probably not going to be a realistic signing for us. He is also inconsistent and injury-prone. Compared to Otsuka, I think he is a slightly better player, potentially, but I guess his attacking attributes aren't quite as good. Speed-wise, he's not as fast either. And yeah, given the other interest in him, I think he's a less realistic option. What I would love to find is, I don't know, a university centre-back. That would be nice. University centre-back could be the order of the day. So whilst we're looking at youth players, I thought I'd have a look at centre-backs who are aged at most 21, just to see what's out there. And there's a player here who's caught my eye, Soju Kanuma. Now, he is formerly of Mori Yamada High School. They are the national high school champions as of the 2023 season in Japan. A very, very good team. He got 5 player of the matches in 22 games for them. They are perhaps the best high school in the country. He is either-footed with some really decent jumping reach, good decision-making as well, good marking positioning. Lot to like about this 18-year-old. There is 19 clubs interested in signing him, including various J2 teams and Vons in our own division. I would quite like to sign this guy. I'm wondering, just compared to Kajitsuka, who's the new addition I brought in to play centre-back, how he kind of stacks up. I suppose speed-wise, unsurprisingly, he's not quite as good. And yet, at 18 years old, there is a hell of a lot to like about this guy. He wants to be a regular starter. It's perhaps a highest player role than I would like to give him. Will he take squad player? He will. He does, however, want £650 a week. And this is why we can't have nice things. I suppose I can offer him a trial to see if he lowers his demand, but given the queue of 19 clubs interested in his signature, have a sneaking suspicion someone with more money is going to come in, sweep down, and steal him away from me. Okay, so I've sorted all these centre-back options that we don't have scouted just by world reputation. I'm going to take on trial as many of the top players as I can, a bit like we did with the goalkeepers, bit of a shotgun approach. I feel like in the lower levels where you don't have a load of money to scout a load of players, trials are just the name of the game. So hopefully some of these players want to join us. Maybe we can find a little bit of depth out here. Meanwhile, Otsuka, our bid for him has been accepted. I'm going to offer him star player status. He's only allowed to sign a 1-year deal, which is a bit annoying. So we'll stick in the optional year extension. But for £120 a week as a striking option available for £1,000, it'd be such a good deal. I mean, the wages we'd have to pay him are very, very affordable. Just wondering if he's the key player of his university team. He's not. Akira Kan is. This man is also unhappy at his current club. Would he be interested in joining us? No. I mean, maybe if I sign his friend, he'll want to join us. He'd be a very good right mid, wouldn't he? But yeah, doesn't seem interested, sadly. Okay, centre-backs joining on trial. We'll see if any of these are any good when they join us tomorrow. I have centre-backs. Some of them look quite good as well. Looking at these star ratings, I'm starting to get a little bit excited. Maybe I shouldn't get too excited. I still need to see how much they want wage-wise. Let's have a look at these players. Daisuke Funaki is the pick of the bunch. 19 years old, centre-back. Not got the craziest jumping reach, but he looks like a pretty decent little option. My scouts rate him particularly highly. He was playing for the J1 team that you're probably familiar with if you follow Japanese football in Yokohama F. Marinos. Of course, this is where Postecoglou, the current Spurs manager, used to manage in Japan. Very, very good club. Harry Kewell is their current manager. He released this man, Funaki, and I feel like Funaki could be a fun signing if he's got reasonable wage demands. He wants to be a star player. That terrifies me immediately. He wants £850. I literally can't pay that. So Jiro Shirahama here looks like a decent option. 15 jumping reach, really good heading as well. Not the most technically gifted centre-back, but he can do the whole defending and jumping thing pretty darn well. A little bit concerned that he's got pretty lofty expectations with his playing time. Usually that means high wages. And it does again here, £1,000. I thought we had all these good centre-back options. I feel like I need to hope that one of them just has reasonable wage demands. Just for a little bit of context here, I have now gone through the top 7 centre-back options. None of them have asked for less than £600. We're now on to the 3-star players. That's not to say that these players aren't necessarily good, but obviously for a 3-star rated centre-back in our team, I don't want to be paying £500 to £675 a week. Okay, for the first time, I've actually started negotiating with a player hard because I kind of want them. Tamir here wants £500 a week, but it looks like they could be a very, very good centre-back. They've got, you can see here, 14 determination, decent heading, decent marking. Their jumping reach isn't too bad either, combined with some really good pace. Obviously, no technicals whatsoever, but you don't really need that for a centre-back, I think. Now, annoyingly, I can't compare Messiah with a lot of these centre-backs, so I've come up with a high-tech solution to compare the players, which involves me just spamming back and forward, staring at the attributes and seeing how much better they are. I mean, Tamir here at 18 years old is actually a little bit of a step up in a few different areas. Not quite as quick, but the 14 jumping reach is really, really nice, and he's not too small either. Was previously, as you can see here, playing at high school level. Wasn't playing particularly well at that level, but I do feel like for a centre-back for us, could be a pretty good option. I suppose the obvious concern is he £500 good? The answer is, I don't think he is, but what I will do is, I'll table an offer anyway. We can then leave it, delay it as long as we need to, and always cancel it if we change our mind, but I'd rather have some centre-back options lined up rather than having no one. Having evaluated all the centre-back options, Tamir is a step above and an affordable step as well. All the other players out there is a little bit dear, I feel like, to be spending £500 on a centre-back, although we have already been doing that with Kim. I suppose the thing that I've got to consider is we can actually afford to spend this kind of money on a centre-back if we want to. I suppose here's the kicker. When you compare him with Kim, he's nowhere near as good. But equally, I have the money to spend. But I've been so good with my money, and £500 is just so much. I know I'm meant to be signing a centre-back. I've just gone to the overview scouting page here and seen this guy, Hiroshi Watanabe, who's rated really, really highly. I don't need a winger, but this guy's quite a good winger. 21 years old, playing for Nihon University. Would he join us? Is he interested? £375 for him. The issue might be the actual asking price, although he's valued at nothing. What if I bid nothing? They want 28,000. I could technically afford it. I need a centre-back. What am I doing? There was actually one centre-back I've just noticed in the list here. Tabata. This guy was playing for a high school team last year, despite the fact he's 23. It's a little bit dodgy. We won't ask questions. He actually looks like he could be a decent little centre-back. He's super consistent. He was down on the list here where we don't really seem to have that many centre-backs recommended. Tabata or Tamir, which are you going to sign, or are you going to sign neither? You can let me know down below. I don't love either of them, if I'm being completely honest. I'm now getting distracted by all the university players with high potential here. There's more players at St. Catherine's available. This guy has announced his intentions to leave as a free transfer. 21 years old, can play left back and right back. I do kind of like him. I know I've just signed Chishima, who can play left back and right back, but Kobayashi here is just better, isn't he? Kobayashi's very good. I'm hoping I might even be able to sneak him on a free transfer, given his really low valuation. He's already told the club he's leaving at the end of his current contract. If he's going to cost me a little over £1,000, I suppose that's fine. We've already agreed to potentially sign one player from St. Catherine's. I feel like I should just be stealing all of St. Catherine's players at this point. Akiyoshi Hasegawa is the captain of St. Catherine. He's very, very quick. He can't really do a lot else, and I really don't need wingers. And yet I just kind of want to steal all of St. Catherine's players. Does that make me a bad person? Fukumoto is going to be our right midfielder next year. How does he compare with Fukumoto? He's very good, isn't he? He is actually very good. The man can actually cross as well. I know I need centre-backs. I've got distracted by St. Catherine's University. That's never a sentence I thought I'd say in my life. I feel like I've just invented a new sentence that no human being will ever utter again. Okay, our offer for Kobayashi has been accepted. He is the versatile fullback option, which I really, really like the look of. Wants £130 a week. I can offer him £110. Hopefully he's willing to accept that. I feel like because I've got these £500 offers on centre-backs, that's eating up my committed wage budget. I think of Tabata and Tamir, if I was going to sign one of them, I'd probably go with Tamir, just because he's a bit younger. And because this deal is eating up £500 of the wages, I'm just going to have to withdraw it. But that should mean now that I can offer... Okay, well, I was hoping it'd mean I could offer the money that I need to offer. I can't seem to. What if I rejig the budget slightly? Kobayashi, I'll give you £120. How does that sound? He loves it. The fact that Kobayashi here is either-footed is really, really nice. Naturally a left back. I mean, is this controversial? Are they better than Aoki? I like Aoki's pace, but I'll tell you what, Kobayashi as a backup option would be absolutely amazing to have on the bench. Actually a player that I kind of would like and need. Hasegawa is less keen on joining us. Not really surprising. He is the captain, though, of this university team. Can we sign him? £200. Wonder if I can negotiate that down slightly. I want an optional 1-year extension so I can trigger that. Can we do 180, please? We can do 180. Akiyoshi, you beautiful man. So just to recap at this point, Kobayashi is the left back and right back at St. Catherine. Hasegawa is the right midfielder at St. Catherine. Otsuka is the other university kid we're looking at who wants £100 a week. And then, of course, we've still got a goalkeeper from St. Catherine as well. Shout out to St. Catherine. Love St. Catherine. I'm now just looking at their other players just to see if any of these are any good. Is there any more players that I should be stealing from this university team? I think what I'm beginning to realise is university teams is definitely where we can pick up some talent. Maybe I went about making my business too early this year. Maybe this is a lesson to learn for next year. That actually waiting until mid-February time where university teams start to shape up, maybe start transfer listing and offering out players. Maybe that's the time to actually make moves rather than making moves prematurely like I did this year. Hiroto Kanda here is a defensive midfielder, was playing at high school level, has really good determination, and according to our staff has some decent potential too. How does he compare with Sauer? Remember last year when Sauer was our key man? I feel like Sauer still will be a key man for us, but someone like Kanda would not be a bad little addition. I think if I've learned anything based on recent negotiations, he's going to ask for £800 and I'm just going to be very upset. Okay, never mind, it's even worse. He wanted 950 quid. I'm not giving a 19-year-old that, I'm afraid to say. High school players, very, very greedy. The university players, they're more reasonable in their demands. Okay, this could be a problem. Tamir, who I'm very, very keen to sign, I think, even on £500, has now had a load of high schools try and sign him. And the issue is that he may well go to the high school teams because they've got decent reputation. And on top of that, it's perhaps a better chance for him to develop. I like the idea of signing Tamiya, though. He looks good to me. I don't recall mentioning it before. I did set up a load of pre-season friendlies in between episodes. Akira Matsuzawa. I think this is our goalkeeping option. I know he's isn't like the craziest upgrade ever, but at 21 years old, a decent little goalkeeper, even if it's just going to be a stopgap option. £150 a week. It's not an outrageous amount of money, so if a better goalkeeper pops up, I could sign them. I know I mentioned the idea of maybe just making this signing that I delay and delay and delay, but actually, having looked at this further, with his aerial ability and shot stopping and overall ability, it's hard to look at this as anything but a pretty significant upgrade for a really, really reasonable fee. So I'm going to confirm that one. And elsewhere, Otsuka, I have the option to confirm as well. Wasn't necessarily in the market for another striker, but for the wages, for the cost, I feel like this is just another deal I have to do. He is a big upgrade on Handa. So is the only concern here now is Handa is on £300 a week and is significantly worse. Otsuka we've signed here is on £120 a week. I feel like all of a sudden I should be trying to get rid of Handa. Both signings rated quite highly upon their arrival to the club. That's a good sign. I'm looking at the squad now. We've got a decent selection of goalkeepers, I think, with Ataki as a backup and Akira as our new starter. Of course, there's a new look kind of across the whole team, really, with Kajitsuka potentially starting at centre-back. Still looking to get in an alternative centre-back option, but if this guy can pick up the position, I think he'll be a fine player there. In terms of the rest of the back four members, all players who were here last year. In the midfield, nothing too radically different in the starting 11. Nakajima in at left mid. Did just get injured for a couple of weeks. Talked already about Otta and Otsuka up top. I really like these two as a strike partnership. It does mean that when it comes to our strikers, we've got 5 players now here who can only play striker. I think as long as we're playing a 2-up-top system, that's kind of fine. In some ways, at the end of last year, only having a handful of strikers available was what cost us. You know, when Otta got injured and then Suzuki got injured, there wasn't players there to queue up and step up and be ready. And I look at the depth now and the quality now with players like Otsuka too. It is notably higher this year. Okay, Kobayashi, we can confirm the signing of. Bit of a luxury signing this one, but for the wages, for the value, a decent little option in the fullback area, who I definitely think you could argue is an upgrade, according to the scout report there as well. J3 standard. I'd like to think with these younger players we're bringing in from university teams, there is a chance they can improve down the line. The other nice thing about Kobayashi is he can play left back and right back, so as a super sub option, could be absolutely amazing. Truthfully, he may well be better than our starting fullback options on either side. I feel like the fullback area could be a position picked on form as this season goes on. Okay, well, if I was weighing up signing Tamir on £500 and some of you are screaming, don't do it! I can't do it. He's gone back to school. Yeah, he won't be playing for us, sadly. What it does mean is Hasegawa is the only transfer currently ongoing. And, yeah, I don't have a centre-back. When you look at the centre-back options in the squad, obviously there's one player missing here who's learning to play centre-back. We definitely need one more, don't we? At the very least. I suppose the other important thing to mention is the fact the transfer window does not close for us until like the tail end of the season, until August time. So transfers can be an ongoing thing. Whilst the centre-back is kind of the last thing on my immediate shopping list, if we do find some obvious glaring holes in the team, we have the ability to patch them up as the season begins. Just notice here as well, Ida is now in the Media Dream 11 and we've climbed up to 5th in the pre-season odds. Clearly the strength that we're adding is gradually, slowly but surely, just nudging us up in the estimation of the press. Was just looking at more centre-back options with by world reputation a little below the players we offered on trial. Takuya Sugawara here looks like he could be a really good little option. He is a former high school player, aged 19. Really well-rounded, jack of all trades, master of some. The 16 balance just feels weird on a centre-back. I'm going to offer him a trial. And another centre-back who could maybe offer depth is Sakurai here. 20 years old, not the best centre-back in the air, it has to be said. But really, at this point, I am looking for the depth centre-back option. So they don't need to be perfect. They just need to be reasonably priced. Okay, both these youngsters want to join us on trial. I'll get them in. I'm curious to see what my staff think, but also kind of what they might cost me. Of the two, interesting to note, Sakurai is more highly rated by our staff. Apparently, our staff think he has got J2 potential. I mean, if that's the case, I'd be over the moon. I did notice there, he is injury-prone and inconsistent. Don't love that. I'm just comparing the two centre-back options here. I do like Sugawara for his ability in the air and his slightly better physicals. I feel like in a weird way, Sakurai could be a decent little fullback option. Sugawara, by comparison, super consistent, no injury proneness flagged immediately, wants to only be a breakthrough prospect as well, and only wants £140. I think we might have just found our centre-back option. Takuya here is not the most exciting player in the world, but in terms of depth centre-back, a decent little upgrade. And to be fair, compared to Kajiyama, who was our centre-back last year, I think it's safe to say he's a massive upgrade. Just sorting our team by ability. Maeda is a player that I've really kept around this year due to his versatility, but we've added a lot of fullbacks this year. Obviously, Chishima can play left back. We've got Saito in on loan. I'm going to nudge him down to the B team. He might return one day, but I feel like we might have moved on from the Maeda era. I am wondering with Sakurai as well, how much does Sakurai want? Okay, Sakurai wants to be a star player. You know what? I feel like this is going to end badly. How much does he want? £250. I mean, it's not cheap, is it? Hasegawa, by the way, I do have the ability to sign if I want to sign him. 21 years old. Has some really decent leadership and determination that might be needed in our team. Got 9 goals last year from out on the right-hand side. I mean, Fukumoto was going to be our starting right-back option. Have we just found a player to kind of dislodge him? Certainly a player to offer a bit of competition. You know what? This Hasegawa signing, I think I'm just going to make. The wages are reasonable. The fee is cheap. It's a 2-year deal too. Let's confirm it. Why not? I don't need a right midfielder, but I'm going to sign him anyway. Remember at the start of last episode where I was talking about Uchiyama, a player who was our youth kind of right mid option, who I said, oh, he might get more first team football this year. Hasegawa here is pretty much directly denying him that first team opportunity, I'm afraid to say now. Okay, Takuya Sugawara, we are going to sign as a breakthrough prospect. He will actually probably feature in the first team a decent amount this year, but the 19-year-old centre-back, a definite upgrade compared to all the other players I've looked at as well. I think most importantly, he's actually an affordable upgrade. These university players are a really good way, it feels like, of adding a little bit of depth and quality to the team. He's a well-rounded player. Does need to bulk up a little bit. That 6 strength does scare me. So with all the dealings done today, our squad size is now up to 27 players. We've spent a little bit of cash, really, when it comes to the fees, but equally, they've not exactly been the craziest fees in the world. And to be honest, when I look at our blocked-out starting 11 to start the year, it's a really strong starting 11, but then on the bench as well, there's some real quality as well. Hasegawa, I think, could be an absolutely immense sub-option for us. Maybe even a player who challenges Fukumoto in the starting 11. We've got players like Akai as well, who I think is going to be a really amazing striker, just with his unique physical ability. And I look at the team, what we had last year and what we had this year, in my eyes, undeniably an improvement. Now, saying all of that, I think I'm done for today's transfer special, just purely from the perspective of I've done the dealings I wanted to get done now, and rather than continue to add players and wheel and deal, there's not interest in our players anyway. I want to maintain a steady 11, build up a little bit of team cohesion ahead of the start of the season in a little over a month. It's the nice thing in Japan. There's a nice long pre-season, so if we get our deals done like we have already, there's now this chance to experiment a little with the team, see how we get on. As I already mentioned, we are in the Tokyo Cup. If we get further into this competition, get through a few rounds and have an interesting game, maybe we come back for that to start the year. If that doesn't happen, we'll be taking on Joyful Honda in the opening game of the league season to kick off next episode. I'd love to know what you guys think of my transfers down in the comments below. It's a little bit tricky working on the budget we're on right now, but I feel like we are slowly but surely improving the team, and we're also building a nice young core to the team. I feel like the future looks bright here at Tokyo 23. If you want to leave an early pre-season prediction, go down below the video, leave it, come back to this video at the end of next season, see if you were right. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday. We will be back tomorrow to kick off Season 2 with a bang. I'll see you guys next time. It's me, Jack, and I'm out. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.